Seriously, man, what is the matter with you? And that's all it is. They're just these losers that have to make everybody else feel like that. And that's just that, isn't it? But
hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we have something very, very special for you. Yeah, that's right. It is the first episode of the Sullivans podcast. That's right. They've been keeping this one fairly low key so that nobody knows about it. It's behind their paywall on Patreon. So again, it's so nobody knows about it. And I decided to just go and check it out because I need to find out exactly what they're saying. It's interesting for me, right? And it should be interesting for you too. So without further ado, let's get right into the nitty-gritty of this podcast, and it was absolutely legendary. They spent the first 7 minutes or so actually talking about how to use the setup and trying to explain to Zoe how it was different to vlogging, which was highly entertaining.
Alright, so welcome to our first ever podcast. You've also got to remember that this isn't a vlog, so this is me and you having a chat.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing that I've got to get into my head, is the fact that this isn't a vlog per se.
No.
Because we're so used to staring at the camera, aren't we? So, but this isn't a vlog per se. This is me and you having a chat about stuff.
I did try to warn you, didn't I? Ben and Zoe, absolutely. It is, in fact, very much different to vlogging. It's just them having a chat together. You've got to remember that. They're just having a chat this time. It's not actually vlogging. It's just them two sat down, having a chat to each other. The podcasts are just incredible, aren't they? Incredible, Ben. Incredible things. They're very different to your everyday life. It's just too much for them to get their heads around, clearly. But Ben, I've got to say, you were absolutely legendary when you said this.
Because I edit the videos. In fact, YouTube is kind of my little baby, isn't it? I mean, you look after your Instagram and Facebook and also Patreon, but for me, YouTube is my little baby, and I do sometimes get quite disappointed if we haven't had many subscribers that week, or if some of the videos haven't done very well. I question myself: what could we have done better? What could we have done that better?
Well, Ben, sometimes it's not a question of what you could have done better. It's just a case of your vlogs are shit and your personalities are shit, and the fact you vlog your kids, and a lot of people don't like that. As much as you think that they do, it's socially unacceptable now to make money from your children, right? But we all know that YouTube is in fact your baby, so to speak, because you are desperate for that 100k plaque, and you will get it. Come hither, come thither, come whither or not. You will get it, won't you? Mm-hmm.
And you normally go, will you just be happy? Yeah, and I'm like, well, no, because I want.
You analyse a lot.
I sometimes overanalyze.
You overanalyze a lot of stuff, numbers,
the
and
analytics.
You do.
Yeah, I overanalyze it, and sometimes I think to myself, well, why is that video only got 5,000 views, and that video's got 10,000 views? What's so different about that? But the trouble is, if you end up just making videos for the algorithm, then your channel just turns into lots of the same video. Because at the end of the day...
Well, I hate to be the one to tell you this, Ben, but your channel is full of pretty much the same video over and over again. It's very repetitive. This is why people are falling out of love with your channel, right? Because it's just shopping vlog after shopping vlog. And then you've got the hauls, the Sheen hauls, then the tidy up hauls, the tidying up the bedrooms, the cleaning, and then it's just rinse and repeat every week. There's nothing new there. You going down to the beach to check out the waves or whatever it is that you do of a morning. Then there's the woodland walks, and then the Friday night treat night. It's all pretty much the same old, you know.
We want our channel to be natural, and we want our channel to come across naturally, don't we, as well? And to be filming exactly what's going on. So at the end of the day, if I start just playing to the algorithm and just filming, if we were going to be just a shopping haul channel, we'll just be a shopping haul channel. If we were going to be a drama channel where everything goes wrong every single day and we put a video out about it, then that's fine. But we're not, are we? We're quite honest and open about what we do, and and each day's different. So it's kind of like YouTube for me is like being on this roller coaster ride. One minute you're flying high, next minute you're a little bit like, oh, what's going on there? Why am I dipping there a little bit? And then you're up again, and you're down again, you're up again, you're down. So it's for me, it's kind of like, because it's my little baby. It's I'm quite passionate about it.
Passionate and
anxious and over analytic. Yeah.
I think as well though, because it is now our main source of income, isn't it? All we do on social media, it's our main source of income. As much as there's a lot of people that don't think that it's an actual job, at the end of the day, if we pay taxes, as I said in one of my posts the other night, we pay taxes, therefore it's a job.
Oh, I'm not questioning whether or not it's a job, Zoe. I do the same thing as you, so it's a job. I fully get it, right? What we don't like to see though is the fact that it's your kids who make you the money, right? I know you'll say, oh, but I do my segment and Ben does his segment, so it's us. We're the stars of the show. But at the end of the day, you'd have a hell of a lot less views if it wasn't for your kids involved. In fact, you wouldn't have any views. If you just stuck to you and you, both of you, just you two, never mention your kids, didn't ever show your kids or anything like that, you'd get maybe a few hundred views, maybe, if you're lucky, and you know it, right? The other thing is, even if that wasn't true and you were getting the views that you wanted, it's not fair to offer your kids to pedos. That's not fair on them, right? I don't care what you say. It really isn't fair to do that to them. Also, putting them in danger every day, given their exact location where they're going to be on any particular day. That's not safe, trundling them around town, them being superstars, and every person on the internet knows where you live, right? So that's not safe for your kids.
Money, but equally it's a job that we really enjoy doing, so it's kind of it's a win-win situation. Yes, we put a lot into it and it can be tiring trying to fit everything in and get everything right and all that sort of stuff, but when you're doing it for yourself and you're working at something that you really enjoy working at, then it's much different, isn't it? Where we're now working for ourselves, providing for the family.
I'm sorry now, who is providing for the family? You're not providing for your family. I think the opposite is true here. Your family are providing for you, Zoe. Your kids are the ones who are bringing in the money, right? There's no doubt about that. It's, it is what it is. But don't be there saying that you are providing for them, because you're not, right? It's the other way round. And it really frustrates me that family vloggers, they don't get it. They don't get it. They honestly think what they're doing is they are vlogging and the kids are just in the backdrop, right? People come far and wide to watch your children. That's just the way it is, right? You can't deny it.
But yeah, so YouTube is one side of it. We've also got Facebook now, which unbelievably, we're at 80,000 followers.
Yeah, but while it's fantastic and everything to say that you've got 80,000 followers on Facebook, just how many of those are actual real life followers? Because they're not translating into YouTube supporters, are they? Which is where your money's going to be made, right? You need to make those people go over to YouTube and, subscribe over there and watch your videos. But hardly any of them are, maybe one or two perhaps, but most of the followers are in fact these little accounts where kind of sex bot type accounts. Not really what you want on a family page.
Really, a lot of spammers.
There
on the
is.
account. We have a problem
There
with
is.
spammers, and we do try and get rid of a lot, but it's very difficult. And Facebook are not very helpful, to be honest.
So Zoe knows. Zoe can tell that most of the accounts are spam accounts. It's not just the followers list, but there's comments. They're all spam. Everything is spam on their page, right? There's very few actual organic followers and organic comments, right? They're all spam, most of them anyway, right? And Zoe sees it, which is good. She sees it. But does Ben? That's the question.
It's one of those things, like what you want to achieve is you want to have a huge following on your social media platforms, because at the end of the day they all help each other out, and you could potentially earn money on Facebook as well. But what you want are people like yourselves that watches for the love of watching us, and what we do and following what we do, and that's the kind of followers we want. But unfortunately, along with that comes a lot of spam. And a lot of hate as well, doesn't it?
Don't even start on the hate.
So the biggest problem, and I'm going to put this out there, the biggest problem on their Facebook page is spam, right? But for Ben to chuck in the hate involved there, that's a very, 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 very minute problem in comparison on their Facebook, right? Yes, they probably get some hate on their comments. They can just delete them, right? Easy, done. Takes two seconds, done. The spam, however, whether or not it actually is spam is another question, is the major problem. And the fact that Ben has basically skirted over that and turned it into we get hate on the page as if that's the problem, it kind of suggests he's deflecting a little bit, right? He's not wanting to talk about the amount of spam that they actually get, because he's celebrating having 80, nearly 90,000, right, on the Facebook. They are celebrating that. Why would you celebrate that if probably half of that, if not more, is actually spam accounts? Why would you want to say, oh yeah, look at us, we got 80,000, yeah, but only a fraction of that are actual people who want to follow us? No, that's just ridiculous. Here's what I think's happening in this situation, right? Zoe seems very sincere when she says about the spam being a problem. Ben looks to deflect it onto hate, right? So I'm thinking that Ben is buying followers, right? He's buying them, and Zoe doesn't know. That is what I think's happening here.
All those sorts of things, and that's across the board. So that comes from all the platforms. Obviously not Patreon, because that's different. Excuse me. And on YouTube, we've got a brilliant moderator now that helps us out. But I'm still continually blocking people from YouTube, and comments that come on that are derogatory, and
To block a lot of people.
yeah. So alongside all of this that we're doing now, all of the social media we're doing, all of the YouTube we're doing, and we've obviously spoken about it at length as well on YouTube. But sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, right, let's put this into context. We're watching the BBC News today, and there was a story this morning about a little village in England that some of the locals were getting horrible letters come through their post. Now, these letters were, yes, they were mean, and they said some mean things, but nothing to the level of influences or some of the hate
Some of the mail we've had.
Oh my God. And
Oh, of course, your hate mail is worse than everybody else's hate mail. It is the most horrendous hate mail that you've ever seen in your entire life. Nobody else's hate mail comes anywhere near your level of hate mail. Of course, you're an influencer of some repute, right? Not positive repute, but repute, right? So obviously, you're going to get the hatest mail, aren't you? Nobody else would get hate mail in the same way that you would get hate mail. Of course not.
And at the end of the day, the police do nothing.
Nope, nothing at all.
And I've spoken to the police before, and I rang 111. Is it 111 or is it 101? I can't remember. 101.
I actually think the person that we spoke to probably should have been reported.
Yeah, I think she should as well.
That it was
she was really rude.
really rude.
And she said it was all our own fault, didn't she? And she almost basically said we deserved it.
Did she? Did she say that you deserved it? Or the poor little influencer family vlogger types that plaster their kids all over the internet, and not to mention releasing the very... Jesus. It frustrates me. I'm sorry. The address. Your address. Right? That's what they're on about. Your address. It is your fault. Right? This is probably what they're talking about. I'm not going to lie, right? Why put your kids on the internet and put your address out there, right? And they're saying, don't do that. That's a bad thing. You shouldn't do that. Maybe take that away and, you know, the hate mail will stop. Maybe that is what they're on about. Probably is. Let's be honest. They probably say, protect your children and this won't happen. It's exactly what we're telling you, right? And that's why you can't comprehend it, because you think that we are hating for the sake of hating. And when we say don't put your address on the internet for the world to you know, go and see your house, and, you know, don't invite your strangers into your house, because that's what you do, Ben, isn't it? You actually said to people, pop in for a cuppa whilst you're passing, you know? The police will take a dim view of that if you then report that you've had hate mail or you've had stalkers and stuff like that. They won't take you seriously unless you try to protect yourself, which you're not trying to do.
And there was nothing they could do. There's nothing they could do to help. Get yourself off social media. So that leads me on to, that's okay to have that opinion of get yourself off social media. But then we work for ourselves. This is our self-employed business. This is what we do now.
Don't you just love it when Ben comes across as like really all high and mighty, and like, this is what we do now. This is our business. We're self-made people, right? We are. You know, this is our business now. This is what we do for a living, and we enjoy doing it. It's our job. It's a really good job. We love doing this job. It is our business now. But they've got 20,000 people on their sub list, right? And they have an average of about 4,000 or 5,000 views a day. It's not sustainable. It's not a very good business plan. I mean, I can't really talk because I have less followers and less views, but not that many less views, let's be honest. And so I know approximately how much they will be getting, and, you know, divvy that up by 14 of them. That's a couple of quid each. So it's not a lot of money, because don't forget, Ben, you have to put aside money for all your extras and your actors in your TV show, you know?
And plus, why should we?
Exactly.
Why should we?
Why should we
be allowed
suddenly
to
be bullied off?
So we
And this is a constant rhetoric from all things family vloggers, right? They say, why should we? Why should we have to stop doing what we love? Why should we have to stop doing our job? Why should we have to come off YouTube because there are a few people who don't like us? Why should we have to do it? The reason is not because why should you have to come off it? Nobody wants you to come off social media. Stay on if you want to, right? I don't care. People will still talk about you even if you do stay on. That's fine. You know, you'll have to deal with that, right? It's just the nature of it. But what you can't do is just say, well, why should we take our kids off social media? That is what you're saying. Why should we protect our children? Why should we not give our kids to predators? Why should we protect where our kids live? Why should we stop other people from bullying our kids? What, you know, those are the questions you're actually asking, not why should we come off social media. You're just saying you're not going to protect your kids. That's all you're saying with that statement.
We've got, you know, thousands of people that follow us, that enjoy following us. We've got a really lovely following of people, and, you know, we have a good relationship with people, like on our lives. We try and have a chat, and I know that because we have a lot of followers now and we get a lot of comments, it's quite difficult to answer everybody back, isn't it? I know you try on YouTube, and I do try on Facebook, but the thing is, there are so many comments and everything coming in, and when you're busy making content and doing all the, just living normally as well with the kids and everything else, and here, there and everywhere, it's difficult to get back to everybody. So we do try, but it's not always that easy to get back to people. But why should we stop doing what we're doing, something that we love to do, and something that other people love us to do? I mean, when I spoke about this the other day, we had so many messages saying, please don't leave.
But is there not one single part of you that thinks that that's a little bit weird, that random strangers off the internet are saying, I want to see more of your children? Because that's what they're saying. They're not saying, I want to see more of you, Zoe, or you, Ben. They're saying, we want to see more of your children. Does that not worry you? I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is that way inclined, right? I know I kind of put that out there quite often. Everybody who watches them must be weird, right? I do think they're weird anyway. But there are some people who specifically ask for more of your children, and specifically talk to your children. I've seen it in the live chats every week, right? People saying, oh, Joseph, you're very clever. Joseph, do this for me. Joseph, you're very smart, Joseph. Toby, yeah, I love the fact that you like cars, Toby. It's great, Toby. I love you, Toby. And things like that, right? None of that is normal. That is not normal for random strangers to be love bombing your kids or even talking to your kids online. It's weird and wrong.
Why should we be bullied out, basically? Why should people be bullied out for, this is what we teach the children, isn't it? To stand up to bullies, to not let people bully. And this is just a giant playground with lots of big bullies in it.
Right, so what, we're the bullies, is it? And you're teaching your kids to stand up to bullies, right? Do you also teach your kids to not put themselves on the internet? Do you teach them that? Or, alternatively, do you teach your 9-year-old twins that it's okay to vlog and show off on the internet? Is that what you're teaching them, is it?
And, unfortunately, the laws in this country especially haven't caught up with...
They're way behind.
They're way behind. When it comes to anything online, the laws in this country are way, way behind.
Absolutely spot on. For once, we are in absolute agreement. But do you know what the funny thing is here? Right? They're talking about the laws in the UK not having caught up with the internet and stuff like that. But if the laws did actually change to what they should be, they wouldn't be able to vlog their kids, right? Because we're constantly saying that the laws really need to change surrounding child exploitation and pimping out your kids and stuff like that, right? You shouldn't be allowed to do it. Somehow you are allowed to do it, but you shouldn't be allowed to do it. However, she's saying that laws need to change, and I agree, they do. But if they did, Zoe, if they did change, then you would not have a business to run, right? So I'm not sure you've thought that one through very well, have you?
And something does need to change because, the social media companies don't take enough responsibility.
No.
YouTube, Facebook, none of them take enough responsibility.
Absolutely spot on. In fact, right, because I have personally contacted YouTube on numerous occasions and asked them why they allow child exploitation and why they allow kids to be put in harm's way on the internet, on YouTube, right? And they don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck. I've even cited their very own policies at them which say that you can't endanger kids, but they still don't do a freaking thing, right? So Ben, Zoe, we can team up here on this one because we're on the same side, we're on the same team here, right? We think that social media companies do not do enough to protect people online. So I think that we should get together. You're a bigger channel than me, you'll have a bigger say than I do, right? We can get together, we can do a collaboration and we can get the word out there that child exploitation is wrong. So what do you reckon? Me to you, let's do it.
To help, and I know recently Instagram have done this thing with teens, haven't they? That under 16s, is it under 16s?
Yeah, they're monitored, aren't they, and all this kind of stuff. It's under 16.
I mean, it's kind of, yes, I kind of agree with it, but also I know what kids are like, and they'll just make up their own date of birth to make them over 16.
Also, there will be actual parents you giving them accounts in order to get around that rule, right? Don't forget the actual parents, such as yourself, who don't mind underage kids being on social media because, you know, it makes you money, doesn't it? And everything else.
But that's beside the point. In an ideal world where, you know, they all tell the truth and stuff like that, it's theoretically a good idea, but I know most kids will just go and put in a different date of birth, which would bypass that. But at least they are making the effort. Instagram are making the effort to try.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter is, well, it's not even Twitter.
Yeah.
Anymore. That's a no-go.
Yeah.
You just don't go
My
there anymore.
goodness, that is the
But
Wild West.
It's you know, the companies don't take enough responsibility, so there's not enough laws surrounding it. There needs to be new laws brought in surrounding online hate, and I know there is a few being brought in Scotland. Is it just in Scotland they were brought in with
Possibly
online hate?
Yeah.
But they don't cover anything enough to be covered, really, do they? So it.
Okay, so genuine question here, Zoe. You're talking a lot about online hate, right? Where do you draw the line on this one? Because quite often when you respond to people and you put out information, like you are hating on certain people, right? You are, like the video I put out the other day on you, the post that you wrote. You didn't mention me by name, right? But everyone knew who you were talking about. And you put that in a little secluded group of 50 or so people who have your back, right? And that's inciting hate on myself, right? Whether or not I deserve it is another matter. Maybe I do, right? But it is hate. That's what you're talking about. It's online hate. And you are instigating that because you have a larger following than me, or just a large following. And that, under your scope, would say, yeah, that's not allowed. And yet you're doing it yourself. So
is we're trying to find a way of accepting, this is going back onto the hate thing, and also people using your content and reconstituting it into hate, which happens quite a lot to us. But
who's doing such a thing? What the hell? My God, these people need strung up, don't they? Who would ever think of reconstituting your own content as hate? That's terrible. That's terrible, isn't it? I hope you don't mean... What? No. I don't do that. It's not hate. Sorry. But this is what I'm saying about you talking about online hate. This is what I would call online hate that you're directing at me right now, right? But, you know, minor hate, I guess. However, mine is not really hate as such. I'm telling you what you need to do to protect your children. If that's hate, then bring it on, right? Because that kind of hate, I can handle being called a hater if it means that I'm trying to warn you. If you don't accept the warnings, what does that make you against your kids, right? Haters of your children. You can dress it up all you like and say that, oh, you love your kids and everything, but at the end of the day, you're doing everything you can to harm them, and I'm not. So, you know, who's the better of the two here, you know?
It's having that kind of, we need to have that freedom to go, do you know what, we are going to talk about that, and it is going to be taken and twisted, and
but it feels a little bit safer on Patreon. I know that there has been stuff taken from here and put other places.
That would never happen, would it? That would never happen. I'm so sorry. I did pay £6 for it, though. Come on. You know, paid £6 for your content. I think I need to earn some of that back. All right, you know, I think fair's fair, isn't it?
There's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. But if I think that everywhere I go to talk or write is going to be stolen and turned into hate, then I might as well just walk away now. But, you know, and I don't want to do that, because it's always been, you know, I really want to write a book. I really want to, you know, all of those things. I've got lots of ideas for things.
I've got an idea for you, Zoe, right? How about I write a book for you, right? You're never going to get around to it. You've got 14,000 kids to feed, right? You've got to look after your kids and everything. You're never, ever going to have time to write a book, let's be honest. I actually reckon you could actually write a book. You're quite a good writer, just from what I've read, right? But I think I'm going to write a book. Anybody want to read a book that I write about, Zoe? I think... All right, now if anybody takes this title, I am going to hunt you down and actually make you sit and eat a Zoe Sullivan lasagna soup. All right, that's the warning, right? So the title is going to be something like The Umming Bird. All right, see what I did there? The Umming Bird. Yeah, I think that's going to be brilliant. And it's going to be all about Zoe and Ben, if he wants to be involved there. And yeah. If you want me to write that book, I will actually do it and put it on sale. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Thank you.
I'd probably, if I wrote a book, I'd probably have to go and lock myself away somewhere for an entire week.
You'd have to go to like an island in Fiji or something.
But, you know, that's my ultimate dream, is to be able to have, you know, like a book and all those sorts of things. But yeah, it's I think the back of your mind that somebody is there stealing your stuff, turning it into hate, and that's quite a difficult thing to
process.
Right, okay, so you have a massive problem with people stealing your content and reusing it for purposes of hate, right? That's what you're claiming anyway. But what about the pedos who take your content and rework it and use it for their own purposes? You're okay with that, is it? That's fine. Reusing it to spread awareness for child safety, not fine. Reusing it for pedo purposes, perfectly fine. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up to the pedos who want to take their content. That's fine. Zoe and Ben have spoken.
Few weeks like we just have recently, you know, you're trying to put out content with a happy smiley face, knowing in the background that someone is taking your content and turning it against you, if you like, and it's really difficult to carry on, isn't it?
But it's not just that, it's also the followers of these people that are relentless in what they do. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and you pick your phone up, and because social media is our business, you want to check to see how your platforms are doing, you want to check to see how your video's done that night, but there's this kind of anxiety you get, and I'm sick of that. I'm sick of having this anxiety in the morning, and I don't really want to go on and check, because I'm afraid of what I'm going to find, and that's ridiculous, and it also makes you not trust anybody.
Yeah, you do become quite very guarded and very, like if someone sends you a message, somebody sent us a message the other day and it was a nice message and it was a helpful message, but we were like, now is that actually a real message, or is somebody sent that trying to catch us out on something?
I feel your pain, Zoe, I really do, and it's actually a very real problem, and I want to just address this or back up her point, because when people message you, you don't know people's intentions. Sometimes you just got to take it as, like, it could be real, it could be fake. Just got to take it all with a pinch of salt, and that's the trouble you go through when anybody messages you. You don't know whether it's real or not, or whether it's somebody taking the piss or not, or if it's somebody with other intentions or not, you know. Sometimes I get Chris Ingham in there, but sometimes I get nice people, you know.
You constantly feel like people are, you know, are they maybe trying to catch you out? Are they trying to, you know, it's
But on the other hand, as Ben so eloquently put it, all of us, myself and yourselves included, are...
Because you're just overwhelmed by the hate, aren't you? And but then you've got to bring yourself back into focus again and go, they're just such losers, man. Honestly, losers who've got nothing better in their life to do than to make somebody else's life miserable. Seriously, man, what is the matter with you? And that's all it is. They're just these losers that have to make everybody else feel like that. And that's just that, isn't it? But
well, I know I am, you know. How about you guys? Are you losers, as Ben has pointed out so lovely, you know? Let me know in the comments down below if you are a loser. If you are, in fact, a loser, as Ben has pointed out, just pop it in the comments down below. Click the word loser. Click it. How do you click a word? Anyway, yes, let me know. Are you a loser? Because I am definitely, right? I'm the most loserish person that I know, anyway. So, anyway, if you have appreciated this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been fabulous. Hope to do another one soon, by the way, and I will cover it. If they don't block me, they might. Who knows? Anyway, have a brilliant day. Take care of yourselves, and bye bye.